Big week this week. Get to come home, play Charlotte. Big homecoming week. Good to come home. Been on the road for the past 2 weeks and got some momentum going and 2 back-to-back wins. We got to keep the winning streak going. So we're really excited about it. Charlotte is a very good football team, and like Conference USA always is this time of year, it's anybody's game, and everybody's fighting, scratching, and clawing to stay in the hunt. So we'll give their best shot. We need to be ready to play, but it's good to be able to come home for a homecoming game and hopefully keep this thing going. With that said, questions?
You know, Coach, like you said, last 2 weeks on the road, 2 wins. I guess, what did you learn about your team? You know, these last 2 weeks getting those wins after, you know, record-wise a rough start.
Well, they're very resilient, very tough team. I don't think they get caught up in, you know, wins and losses. They just play hard every single week, control what we can control. And, you know, I do think the first part of the schedule, with it being as tough as it was, has helped us. I think we've grown as a football team. I think we're a well-coached team. I think we're a tougher football team. I think we've learned a lot about ourselves as a football team. So still got a lot of games to play. So I still think our best football is ahead of us. I've said that a lot. As good as this game was, there's a lot of things we got to fix. So it's just step by step, get better every week. That's what we need to control.
When you say you guys learned a lot about yourselves, in particular, what sticks out about what you feel like you've learned the most about yourselves as a team?
Well, I think we're a tough football team. We're a gritty football team. We're a competitive football team. We know who we are. We know our strengths. We know our weaknesses. We're a hungry football team. We have goals and aspirations, and you know, we get to control our destiny right now. And that's all you ask for, is just be in control of your own destiny. So that's a week-to-week thing, and we're going to work really hard to control our destiny.
And with destiny, kind of looking to here and now with Charlotte losing on Saturday, I believe to FAU, and the possibility of you guys, you know, being in first place in the division after this week, how much even more hungrier does that make you guys entering Saturday?
Well, we try not to look at everybody's scenario. We just kind of look at our scenario and who's in front of us. And you know, Charlotte's a really good team. It's going to be a 4-quarter game. I think their offense gives people problems. You know, they're well coached. Coach Will Hilly, their head football coach, does a fantastic job. I know they'll be ready to play, and so we need to be ready to play. But really happy we're coming home to play this game.
You know, defense has had 2 great games back-to-back. I guess, what's been the biggest change that you feel like with the defense?
I think our defense staff has done a really good job of putting players in place to make plays. We've been very multiple. We've played a lot of guys. We've changed up our looks. When I said, hey, we found out a lot about ourselves, that you know, our defense knows their strengths and their weaknesses. We're willing to adapt and change, and that's what good teams try to always do, is do self-evaluation. And I think our defense did a great job of, you know, after the first 4 or 5 games, saying, okay, here's our strengths, here's our weaknesses, how do we maximize our potential to be a good defense? And 2 weeks in a row, they've done a good job. I'm really interested to see this week against a really good Charlotte offense that is very multiple, gives you a lot of problems in a lot of different areas. So we need to play really, really good defense this week.
You know, in terms of the East Division and Conference USA, it seems like this year there's a ton of parity, maybe more than in years past. But I guess in your time in the league, I guess how does that level of parity this year kind of compare to, you know, previous years?
For me, it's every year. I mean, really, it's anybody's game. You look at last week, and Rice goes to UAB and beats UAB, and you know, earlier in Middle Tennessee beats a really good Marshall team. You know, every week there's surprises there, and you know, you got to show up and play every single week, and everybody's pretty much in the hunt right now, and that's what you want in a conference. That's what I love about Conference USA. It's highly competitive, and you better show up every week and play your best game to win.
We talked defense, you know, Saturday night about getting the big win for you guys, but also the running back room kind of stepped up. What do you see out of them, and what's your most promising thing, you know, moving forward this week?
Very solid room. I think Coach Lachlan, our running backs coach, does a fantastic job with those guys. I love our running back group as a core. They're great men. You know, they pull for each other. It was one of those games where FIU literally said, hey, we're going to play a 3-man front and not allow you to throw the football, and so it was so extreme. I was really proud of our offensive staff to have the discipline after about the second series to say, we need to really be committed to the run. We talked to our running back group and said, hey, we're going to put the ball in y'all's hands, put it on your shoulders, and go lead the way, and they did. And they were ready to go do that. And a lot of those guys got to touch the football, and they did some good things with it. And, we got to continue to do that. I was very happy with our offense, the discipline they showed about take what the defense gives you. And from here on out, we'll probably see a lot of those kind of fronts and different things to try to prevent Bailey from making big plays down the field. So running the football, you have to be very solid at, and if you can't run the football, it's going to be a long day. So that was really good to see at FIU.
Coach, you guys, in the first quarter, you have a little slow start, and then after that, it seems like you guys just kicked it right into gear. What adjustments do you guys usually make that gets you guys going into gear?
Well, I thought defensively, after the first drive, FIU had a good drive, they scored. We were able to block the extra point. After that, they really shut them down, had control of the game, took a lot of pressure off our offense. First couple drives offensively, we kind of tried to do our thing there like we always do. And we just realized after about the second, third drive that, that wasn't going to happen. And based upon what I said, having discipline, our offensive staff really did a good job of saying we're going to hand this ball off, we're going to take what they give us, we'll create plays, make them get up there in the fronts and try to throw the ball down the field when we need to. And so I just thought we played good team football. We complemented each other. I thought the punt team was outstanding. John Haggerty with a change of field position was outstanding because we were backed up several times punting the football. He was able to get it at least past midfield, which was huge. Gave our defense an opportunity to not have a lot of pressure on them. So it was just good complementary football all around.
Touching off what Brett said about adjustments on the defensive end, was there anything that Coach Crum maybe did a little bit differently Saturday that gave you guys the monster numbers you gave, like 7 sacks and all those stops that you had on third down against FIU?
Well, I think again it goes back. We've learned a lot about ourselves. We've been playing a lot more guys. We've been maximizing our talent in different areas. You saw us play multiple fronts with different personnel. I think our guys are fresher because of that, because of the rotation pieces. D'Angelo Malone's not having to play every snap out there, and some of the guys that you haven't heard of, you start to hear those names. Mike Allen made a couple big plays last week, and Broderick's come in there and done some good things. And our linebacking core, we're rotating guys, and they're doing good. And our secondary, I thought in the back end with our coverages, we've done a good job holding up back there. So really just at the end of the day, being multiple and maximizing our talents really the reason why we've had success defensively.
Coach, I know we see every week, it's Jared Stearns and Bailey Zappi. That connection is just the best. One of the best, if not the best in the country right now. You've coached a lot of players and you've seen a lot of great quarterbacks and wide receiver duos. Where did they match up in your career?
As good as I've been around. I've been around a lot, so I'm not going to say, hey, it's the best duo ever, but I'll just say this: I'm glad they're Hilltoppers, and that they're our duo because they mean a lot to us. And I do think Bailey does a great job. We talk about Jareth a lot, and he deserves all those accolades, but it's because of how well our other receivers are playing too that allows Bailey to get the ball to Jareth. If we weren't as talented or weren't as making plays in those other positions, think of a Mitchell Tinsley out there, Malachi Corley, and I could go on and on, Ben Radsliff, David Davis. I mean, there's a lot of people to get the ball to. When they get their turn, they usually make their play, and that helps Jareth when it's time to go make his plays. He's not getting double covered all day because defenses can't just say, hey, that's the one guy we got to stop. So that's a good thing about our offense, and Bailey does a good job of dishing the ball out to multiple people. But definitely that duo, very, very proud of those guys and glad they're Hilltoppers.
In your time here as the head coach, you guys have had some, really good performances. I look back at Arkansas a couple years back at the complete performance. It seemed like Saturday was one of the most complete performances in your 3 years here. I guess where would you rank it in terms of, the complete performance, and how do you continue to get better at that?
Well, that's the standard for us every week. I think it really starts with the defense. When your defense is playing really well, it takes a lot of pressure off your offense. It allows you to do some things offensively where you're not one-dimensional. You know, it was a good game. I still think, again, I keep saying, I think our best football can be ahead of us. We have not played just an outstanding, pure game where we were hitting on all cylinders. We got close last week, but we did have a turnover. You know, the offense did struggle early. You know, all those things. But I think we still have the opportunity to make a run here that, you know, puts us in a position to say, to answer your question, hey, that's a great complete game. But it was definitely a good game for the 3 years I've been here. I have a short memory, to be honest with you, so I'm not a stats guy. I just take it one game at a time. But you know, at the end of the day, it's all about winning, and we celebrate all wins. And I remember just the winning piece.
You know, looking at Charlotte, Chris Reynolds leads the way, obviously, you know, pretty talented quarterback. I think they're balanced about 26 points per game. They score, allow about 27. Just your overall thoughts on them. I know they can score some if they want to. They can not allow a whole lot. And of course, Reynolds is kind of the real deal.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on you defensively because they're very multiple offensively. The quarterback can run with the football. He's gritty. They got a lot of skilled guys they can get the ball to. Multiple personnels, their tight ends are critical for them. You know, they can do it in the passing game, they can do it in the run game, so it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And then I think their defense on their side matching with our offense, I think they'll try to say, hey, our offense is able to score points, let's just limit Western and what they can do and try to let our offense go out and score them. And so we got to have a really good performance offensively this week, because I really do think, you know, it's going to be hard to slow that really good offense down, that Charlotte offense, and that'll be the challenge for our defense. I hope we can do like we did against FIU. That'd be awesome. But, you know, if they come in here and they're playing good football like they've been playing offensively, you know, our offense is really going to have to step up this week and score a bunch of points.
You know, looking at the FAU and Charlotte game last week, FAU held Charlotte to their lowest point total of the season. How much do you look into that game and may apply it to your team this week?
We look at all of them. You know, I think FAU is a really good, complete football team. They can do it on all three phases. They got really good players, but you know, they had the winning formula last week. Was able to hold them to 9 points, and so that says a lot. So yeah, we do study that film, but we have to rely on what we do and how we do it. And you know, they got after the quarterback last week. They were able to limit explosive plays. You know, you didn't see a lot of big runs from Charlotte's offense as well. When they got down there in the red zone, they held them to field goals. So, you know, that's what good defenses do. So, yeah, we do look at that piece extremely hard.
You know,
I know. I'm sorry. I know that you never coached him, but Mike White, of course, having a touchdown throw yesterday. And it must be a big deal for WKU as a whole to see, oh, there's an NFL quarterback that played here that threw a touchdown pass in the NFL. Did you talk to Bailey about that at all and say, hey, maybe that could be you in a couple years?
No, I recruited Mike. I was here with Mike the first year he was here. Exceptional quarterback. Keep up with Mike, and what I love about Mike is he's a huge Hilltopper. You know, I mean, every time we win, he texts Brett Wayne, coach, keeps up with all the players. You know, I think that's the biggest piece about Mike, and the reason why he's had a lot of success is, you know, he cares about football. He cares about being good. You know, you saw that when Mike was here, even when he wasn't playing. You know, he was always getting ready for his opportunity, and he made the most of that opportunity. But you know, it's good to see that you know, any Hilltopper that's in the National Football League making plays, that always represents our brand extremely well.
You know, with all this talk about conference realignment going on, how difficult is it to, you know, keep your guys maybe away from that and focus on the game ahead? And, you know, when you go up against a team that has already said they're going to leave the league in a couple of years, is there any extra motivation there in a game like that? Not
for me, and I don't think it is for our players. We hadn't thought about it one bit. You know, we control what we can control. You know, I know Western Kentucky, when this thing's all said and done, is going to be in a great place. You know, we got a great foundation here. We got great leadership here. As long as we just keep winning games, that's all that matters, you know. And so, yeah, really for this football season, next football, you know, we just want to be able to go out there and put on a good show for our fans and win football games. And we don't worry about all the external factors. And so really, we hadn't thought about it one bit, to be honest with you.
And injury and availability wise after Saturday, how are you guys looking?
Good. We should have everybody. Juwan's really come back from, he had a shoulder and he's been fighting through that, but he had a good night against FIU as well, so pretty healthy for the most part.
All good?
You've told me in the past, you would wear cowboy boots, cowboy hat on special occasion. Theme for homecoming is Wild Wild Western. What are the chances you wear cowboy boots and or hat for the game?
I'm gonna wear my $99 Cole suit off the rack that I wear every single day. All right, guys.